6:30. We have 6 members present. We have a quorum. Meeting is called to order. First item, minutes from April 6th. Does anybody have any comments, questions, changes?
No.
Motion to approve the minutes.
So move.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So approved.
Oh, sorry, just because Evan is remote, any vote we're gonna have to take by roll call. So,
Roll call. I never did
because,
that before.
when you have someone joining remote, because, it's being recorded, all the votes for anyone that, because someone is, joining, remotely, you have to do it, roll call. So it basically, means that just go around the table saying your name, aye, and then going around so that Evan can do that. I don't know how many times you've had, someone have to join like Evan had
Never
with
done
Zoom.
that.
We've never done that.
I have to call out every person's name for every single vote, or do they say their own?
They can say their own name.
Just out of Gillespie, right?
Joe can start.
Joe Calamari, yes.
Yeah.
Wayne Point, just, yes, approve the minutes.
Kevin, yes.
Brian Post,
No.
yes.
You're a move guy.
Evan,
Evan LaRoche, approves.
John Allen, yes. Approved 6-0. So this is not easy. So going forward, well, how we're gonna do it is you're gonna go first and we're gonna go in a circle this way,
Okay.
okay? So we're gonna go in a circle this way. I'm gonna vote last. You're
Okay.
gonna vote first.
Counterclockwise.
Yep.
Counterclockwise. Is everybody okay with that?
So when does Evan go?
Second. Evan, you're second.
Okay.
Perfect.
Agenda item 3A, DPW.
afternoon.
We've got 2 items, requested for capital. I'll start with the smaller of the 2.
Point of order, we should call the capital improvement committee to order.
They're posted for 6 o'clock. Yeah, they're posted for 6, so realistically, we wouldn't be able to have them start in advance of when they're posted. When we last met, we mentioned about having him give a presentation on his budget items. And then by the time he got through, then at 6 o'clock, Capital would join in, open their meeting, and then we talked about the town meeting capital articles.
Okay,
So to be clear, I'm gonna talk about my snow and ice currently.
yes.
And your FY 27 budgets for highway, cemetery, sewer, stormwater, all those.
Yeah, all the accounts.
Okay,
So I don't think you.
no, I was not,
Did you think it was just capital tonight?
yeah, I thought it was just capital. I can,
Can we vote on some of the items?
We voted on none of his items.
Yeah.
So I can run down and get my budget book for you, so you can at least refer to those.
yeah, that, if you don't mind, that'd be fantastic.
I'll just give him mine. Okay, it's fine.
Perfect, yeah. Um. Okay, up first, we can start with the cemetery tab. This is number 10. The request on this change is pretty minimal, for essentially requesting similar figures to what we did in previous years. But you see a slight reduction in the amount of $501 on this request for FY 27.
8950,
Um,
8,950.
8,950, that is
Okay.
correct. Yes.
I don't have that page. I have the 9,450. It's okay. No, that's fine.
okay,
No. you should-
because I think
That's
maybe
fine. No,
Chris may have, remember how we amended those sheets?
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't
so.
get, I didn't get all the sheets, but that's okay. Let's keep going.
Yes, there was, that was my original request. There was a slight, modification made to it, which reflects exactly what you're describing.
Any comments or question on the 8,950?
So that was included in one we voted for last week, that were under 20,000 or 60,000.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, so, yeah, that's okay. He can explain it.
Okay,
That's
but it was
If there's any comments.
the 9,000.
Okay, next.
Okay, next up we have. Yes, this is gonna be tab 20.
That number?
Tab 20.
20.
20. The request for FY 27 has a minimal increase to $240,000 from the previous year of $217,950. This request is based on the average fuel used for all DPW vehicles multiplied by the average rate in which we pay for fuel. This is both gas and diesel fuel.
You said this is just DPW vehicles only?
I'm sorry, my apologies. DPW, any general fund vehicles, fire, all the vehicles. Enterprise accounts, water, sewer, those are accounted for within the respective
So this
budgets.
has fire and police.
Correct.
All right, so I got a number here of 268, 948, 898, 268, 98. That the number you got?
So it's gonna be similar to the last one. So that was my request. It was reduced slightly to 240,000.
10%. You gotta sign a list there too, it makes it easier.
Any comments or questions?
Does this consider the recent increase in fuel prices or?
At the time of submission, this was not a thing.
I think everybody knows this is gonna increase during the year.
It's gonna increase during the year. Yeah, I think it's.
Try to predict. Any other comments or questions on this one?
No.
Next item?
Tab 37 for parks and recs. Total reduction for FY 27 is just shy of $29,000. Due to our current configuration for what we're expecting for a loss for the town. We are cognizant of that. We've cut back some of the funding to some of the labor positions. So we do see a slight reduction for the upcoming year.
To reduce the what?
The fees for the laborers, so the money for laborers.
All right, so what's the number you got?
The number should be $176,930 total.
What's the questions on parks? Next item.
Contingency salary for part-timers in the summer or something like that?
Yeah, the salary contingency though, is actually zeroed out.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. So in years past, there was some uncertainty whether or not we would have enough to cover our operating costs. We only use that for FY 26. And we just zeroed that out. I think it was more appropriate to just build it into what we're projecting.
Coming back on the season, okay.
Yep.
Next.
So
So you're gonna have $31,000 less this fiscal year coming than you had now.
Correct.
So what's gonna suffer?
So what we're projecting is on the salaries for the laborers positions. So we'll certainly see a decline in the service that we were able to perform. We still fully anticipate funding or staffing the positions to the best of our ability. However, there is certainly going to be a decline on the available help for parks.
Okay. So there's still gonna be some work that's not gonna get done.
It's a spreadsheet exercise.
Huh?
It's a spreadsheet exercise.
Okay.
They get told to cut, so they cut.
You still bring on Y to Silver Lake?
Yes, yeah, there's no impact to the Y at Silver Lake. And keep in mind too, part of our funding comes from stormwater. So the retention basins, for example, are not impacted by the submission here.
Okay, and the treatment for Silver Lake?
That's conservation. That's not us at all. Great question.
And just to point out for the board, we are above the actuals for FY 25 as well. So actuals for FY 25 came in at just under $60,000. So we're coming in at 90, given the sort of financial state of the town. You know, we had identified when we had the joint meetings as far as the need to make up some of those cuts, and because the variability in trying to fill some of these positions and also the timeliness in which they may say leave for college or end, we were trying to identify an area that may align more where the actuals actually fell for the last two fiscal years.
any other comments or questions on parks?
No.
Next.
Next, we have tab 45 for sewer. Our FY 27 request has increased in the amount of 405,000 and change when compared to the FY 26 submission. The bulk of the increase on this is pertaining to fees that are outside of Bellingham's abilities when it comes to sewer treatment. As many of you may already know, Bellingham does not treat sewer within town. We send it to both Charles River Pollution Control District as well as the Woonsocket Wastewater Treatment Facility. So the numbers that we use are based off of their projections. So we're seeing some increases to the costs at these two facilities.
Oh. So the word host means Woonsocket?
Host facility, yes, that's Woonsocket and or Charles River Pollution Control District.
Woonsocket and
CRCPD, the Charles River Pollution Control District.
oh, that's not a town.
It's actually Medway. The
Medway,
facility is in Medway, yeah.
It's actually Midway and Frank, right?
Business.
Well, it's in Midway, Midway. It's a.
Yeah, they're that way. No, there was.
Right, yeah, several towns.
So is that fee determined by Medway and Woonsocket, or is the fee determined at a state level and applied to everybody?
So it's a breakdown of what their projected budget costs
So
are.
it's their budget.
Correct.
So it's their fee.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
And it's divvied up amongst all the users. So Bellingham is one of the users, their capacity or the amount of treatment that they apply multiplied to by Bellingham's percentage, and that's how we get these figures.
What's driving the 150% increase?
Operational changes, so similar to what Bellingham experiences, there are added increases with operations every year, as well as capital improvements. We've seen some increases to some of their operations for larger capital projects for improvements.
PFAS.
Yeah, I don't know if PFAS is quite there in the sewer side just yet. I could be mistaken. I don't get heavily involved with that portion, but no doubt that regulatory requirements are increasing across the board. So I'd imagine that that is a portion of it, as well as building in redundancies in other areas as well, whether it's replacement or upgrades to some of the existing infrastructure to get ahead of future failures, things of that nature. They're constantly looking to upgrade, similar to what Bellingham would do as well.
They use much fuel?
Fuel, I don't know. I'd imagine a portion is probably to their vehicles and maintenance.
There's water around, it's gonna be, can't predict now.
This is where most of their stuff is electric.
Oh, okay.
Moving water is actually electric, it's not.
Okay.
They do have some vehicles. I have a question though. Socket. When Socket's looking to dump their wastewater treatment plants, have to go to MDC, I think, or something like that. We have any words on what their projections are they looking to change?
So nothing final on that just yet. I'm aware that they're looking to potentially privatize. That will certainly have an impact on us, but nothing just yet.
Okay.
Only good I've read in the news.
I mean, it's coming, they're doing it, City of Woonsocket is basically selling their plant. They can't, there's no way for them to maintain it, they're not, it's one of those things where they're not big enough. And the tank and the system has to be too big. And so they're giving it up to somebody else who runs, by the way, the treatment plants in Woonsocket, in, I think Providence and Pawtucket and a few other places. So I would suspect the fees will probably go up. And the only reason I'm saying, we don't really have a choice, but I'm just kind of edification for the board that this may be coming.
Any other comments or questions on sewer?
And that's enterprise
So that-
funds, correct?
Yes.
Any other comments or questions on sewer?
That host fee, do we anticipate that'll continue to increase, or like with the capital improvements, is that like cost now, or are they spreading that out, those costs out?
So historically speaking, yes, we've seen an increase on that, so it may continue to continue in that direction. Again, if we do see this privatized like we're anticipating, that could go up as a result of that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, good question.
Any other comments or questions? Motion to recommend the $2,190,930 from revenue.
So move.
Second.
Taking individual vote on this.
We should, any vote,
No,
You just gonna survive out and you don't have to vote on it. I assumed you were doing them all at one time, but
either we can do it all as one group or individually.
The reason I brought that up is coming out of an enterprise fund
Mhm.
versus taxation.
Motion to recommend $2,190,930 from revenue.
So move.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Evan LaRoche, aye.
Aye.
Brian Post, aye.
Kevin Kepler, aye.
All right, so recommended 6-0. Next enterprise fund?
Next enterprise fund is going to be stormwater. That is tab 47.
Okay.
For FY 27, we see a 17% increase from the prior fiscal year. Budget was submitted at 1.081, and there was no change following our current status. The largest increase that we'll see to this enterprise account is the transfer to group insurance in the amount of $111,546.
And insurance is, what kind of insurance?
The town's health insurance.
What?
Health insurance.
Health insurance,
So
right.
it's correctly calculated to reflect the actual costs for health insurance for the water portion of employees' benefits for those water and sewer workers.
So that's outside the enterprise funds.
Is coming from the enterprise and then going into the health insurance.
So it is coming in that enterprise and for the health insurance.
So why was it so low in the prior year? Is that because it wasn't allocated to the enterprise fund?
So it actually is a group insurance in transfer to the trust. It's a decrease. 25%. Heidi, before she left, recalculated all of those enterprise accounts to make sure that the correct funding was going to fund those health insurance accounts. You can see in FY 25, group insurance transfer to the trust was 306,000. We're at 236,000.
We're just talking about stormwater.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I'm on,
11,000, now it's 123,000.
no, sorry, it's my bad. I was actually on water. So this increase transferred to group insurance. So what I just said about water is because we had inappropriately proportioned health insurance across the enterprise accounts. So that decrease I was reading for water resulted in accounting for an increase in stormwater because they were all at inappropriate levels. We were charging 2 less for
So the
stormwater, and we brought that up.
11,000 last year was just an accounting mission.
Correct. It should have been higher.
That's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. That's just an accounting issue. So it's 111,000 out of the 163,000. Okay.
You're gonna run out of auto parts,
I hope not.
50%, that's. We'll be transferring some money later in the year, right?
Any other comments or questions on stormwater?
This is it's coming out of the enterprise fund.
But they're all coming out of enterprise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Motion to recommend $181,306 from revenue.
1,081,000.
What did I say? $1,081,306.
So move.
Second,
Second,
all those in favor?
Joe Calamari, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Poitras, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John L, yes, recommended 6-0. Next enterprise fund.
Next, we have tab 55 for trash. For FY 27, our total trash request is $2,313,421 for an increase of 7.57%. Our largest increase is pertaining to the trash removal fees that we pay. So these are fees that are outside of DPW involvement. These are contracted fees.
That's a company that actually does the trash pickup.
That's right, yes.
Any other comments or questions?
No.
Motion to recommend $2,313,431 from revenue.
We're at $21. Revenue, so move.
Second.
Second,
Joe Colomani, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Pointers, yes.
Ryan Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes. Recommended 6-0. Next,
Okay, our next enterprise fund is water. And this is tab 60. The request for FY 27 is in the amount of $4,010,015. This is a minimal change from previous fiscal year in the amount of 1.51%.
where's the health insurance number on this one?
The health insurance on this one has, let's see, has been reduced by $79,116. So we saw a 25%, just over a 25% reduction on the group health insurance.
So it's a reduction because it was allocated to the other, all right,
That is correct.
that's not.
Part of it, yes.
So really, not a $59,000 increase, it's really a $140,000 increase when you consider the correction of the health insurance allocation. Right,
That is correct. And I think that would put us a little bit more in line where we would expect to see the percentage increase for the next fiscal year. On one hand, we didn't go up significantly, but we would anticipate a 3% increase due to cost of living increases, rising prices across the board, things of that nature. So to see a 1.51% increase is relatively low. To Mr. Chairman's point, I think this is a little bit more in line with what we would expect had the changes to health insurance not been a reduction in that amount.
yeah, because all the numbers are very small except for the correction for health insurance.
Correct.
They're all tiny. All right, anybody have any comments or questions?
I'm just curious, I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, with this, is there a 10-year projected for the water? And the reason I asked that question is with that NECC, I'm not sure where it's at right now. Will we be supplying the water to that unit? I'm sorry, to those units if it does get built, or is Woonsocket are going to be supplying the water, for them?
Yes, that's a great question. If approved, Bellingham would supply water to that site. There are additional items that would be discussed prior to that happening, such as connection fees, expansion, as well as revenues captured by the additional units. So while Bellingham would have to supply the water, treat the water, all of that associated with the new proposed development, there would be a revenue stream increase in addition to that.
And would you, do you foresee another well being built to help? To supply them with the water? Or are our wells sufficient enough to supply those 840 units or 800 units?
And that's another great question. As far as our water production, what we're able to actually, what we're permitted to pull from the ground and supply to our customers, we do project that we have enough capacity. Keeping in mind that some of our wells are currently in the process for replacement.
Right.
So over the years, as a well goes through its natural life cycle, supply diminishes. Bellingham is very proactive with redeveloping wells on an annual basis. Generally speaking, we target about half of our wells each year. Unfortunately, as a well goes through its life cycle, there is a point where you cannot get back the supply that you once had. So to prepare for this, we have requested for well replacements at 2 of our sites currently, as well as exploration for another redundant source. So yes, we are very cognizant of our water supply. We are hoping to build in redundancies to capture any failures and things of that nature. But as it stands, we are projecting that we have enough water to supply this proposed development at the current proposed size.
Yeah. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions on water? Motion to recommend 4,010,015 from revenue.
So move.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
No.
No, Joseph Calamari, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Poitras, yes.
Ryan Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0.
That was the last of the enterprise funds. If we could back up for a moment to tab 46, this is our snow and ice budget. For FY 27, we are submitting a budget of $283,000 for our snow and ice budget entirely. The reason behind this is, as we all know, winters in New England are very unpredictable. While we had a very interesting end to the season, it isn't something that we've experienced historically. With our snow and ice budget, we have the ability to deficit spend as necessary. So in the event that we expend our budget entirely and need to continue to salt and plow and things of that nature, we have the ability to request support to do so or authorization to do so. So generally, we budget our snow and ice operation based off of a minimal amount to capture the intended winter season, but with the mindset in the event that we experience something like this last year, we have the ability to deficit spend.
Any comments, questions?
Oh, sure. I have a question. So what would the number have been if we didn't have the winter like we just had, but for instance, the winter before?
So last winter, our actual was $403,000.
Yep.
And
Before that?
and the winter before that was 369,000.
Okay. So these are the sevens in spending no matter what.
Motion to recommend the $283,000 from taxation. Second,
Second.
all those in favor, go.
Joseph Calamari, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Poitras, yes.
Ryan Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0. Next item.
Hey, there's one other. Tree warden, tab 57. For FY 27, we have seen a reduction in the total request for tree warden by $10,955 or 22.08%. The reduction is a result of the previous funding for part-time personnel and then elected boards being reduced. Our tree warden assignment has been rolled into one of the current DPW supervisor positions. So that is now captured in the salary. It's no longer a separate stipend for this individual. It is just required as part of the position. So that position does capture what we've spent on this previously.
Any comments or questions? Motion to recommend at $38,660 from taxation.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Joe Gallimati, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
William Poitras, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0.
Was my final budget. Painless.
Jesse?
You voted on the highway already?
Yeah, DPW highway, we didn't do that. Tab 15.
No.
Is it 15?
Yeah.
15.
I missed it. I apologize. A lot of tabs here. Yes, how could I forget highway? This is for FY 27, we are projecting a decrease in the amount of $409,158, totaling 24.26%. Our largest decrease is due to the reduction in contracted highway construction. Last fiscal year, we were successful in securing $400,000 for this effort, which is primarily used for our paving services. Fortunately, we've been successful with Chapter 90 increasing. So while we are seeing a decrease on the town side, Chapter 90 has increased on the state side. So that is our largest reduction.
All the other line item changes are very small dollar amounts. Anybody have any other comments or questions? For highway? Motion to recommend $1,277,527 from taxation.
So move.
Second, all those in favor, go.
Joe Gallimati, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
William Poitras, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0. All right, that was it.
Yes, that was the final quarter real at a time. Thank you.
Yes, capital.
On the budget, yes, yeah, I've got two capital items, once we're ready.
I'm gonna call the capital improvement committee meeting to order.
Pertaining to capital and finance, we have a request for the Chestnut Street Standpipe Rehabilitation Project. This is an overcoat project for this effort. The Chestnut Street Standpipe is beyond its typical coating life cycle. The last rehab was done in 2002 with a typical lifespan of around 20 years. We are now at a point where action is required to protect the asset and water quality. We hope to extend the useful life in a cost-effective way while deferring a much larger capital expense.
We don't have any paperwork on this.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
This the Haley Ward thing?
Yes, this is the healing word. Yes.
It was sent out by email on Thursday. I'm pulling it up so I can put it on the screen.
I want to print almost 40.
It ain't, I pressed the button anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Discover it later. Refill paper.
we actually printed here, but I filled up my laptop.
What's the dollar amount?
So the total dollar amount on this, what we have for tonight is $577,000, 577.
And this would be funded by what, debt?
So we're hoping to do retained earnings for this, and if there is supplemental need, if retained earnings do not come in where we're projecting, debt services, yes.
So that would be a bond anticipation note, and then we take it out of the following year's cash.
Yeah, but this retained earnings from what fund?
Water
Water.
enterprise.
So you made the comment, you said, what we have for you tonight is 500 plus thousand. Is that the total cost of the project?
So this is our OPCC. For those of you that don't understand what that, or know what the acronym is, my apologies. It is the opinion of probable cost for construction. So essentially, we have currently an estimate based off of current trends for this type of project. I do have a schedule for bidding on this. As it stands, the project has been advertised. This plans and specs will be available on the 16th. We have a pre-bid meeting on the 24th and a bid opening on the 30th. So we'll have hard numbers ahead of town meeting, but that final dollar value will be available on the 30th.
Just refresh me, because didn't capital already vote on this like a year ago?
The design.
Okay,
Yes, capital and finance both voted on this and we're in support of the design, yes.
okay.
Yes.
Well, at the time, the capital must have also voted to do an overcoating as opposed to a rehab.
I believe that's likely. I did present both.
Yes.
And this was the path that was recommended, yes.
I'm just trying to get, because at some point we gotta get ourselves in the right cycle where capital votes on these things actually in advance. You know, it's like, if we hadn't talked about this, I'd be saying, why are we doing an overcoating? But we know that the life cycle of this will be shorter than the rehab
That is correct.
by about half.
Yes, so the rehab on this type of project is about 20 years. The overcoat option that I'm proposing tonight is generally 7 to 10 years.
Could you say that again?
Yes, so a full rehab on this type of project,
Just the number of years, 20 years versus what?
7 to 10. 7 to 10.
Oh, 7 to 10, okay.
Correct. And with the overcoat option, which is recommended tonight, it does include spot repairs on both the interior and exterior, as well as the full overcoat of the exterior. Again, this extends the life by 7 to 10 years. And what it does is it avoids full blasting of the outside, sandblasting of the outside down to the bare steel and major containment costs. So there is a significant cost saving when compared to the full rehabilitation project.
Rehab would have been,
The cost for rehab was estimated at 2.15 million.
okay. All of a sudden, the 7 to 10 years doesn't seem so.
Again, the key takeaway on this is a strategic deferral. We prefer the asset now at 25% of the cost and push the major investment out.
So I think we've already voted on this, but for the record, I'm gonna ask for a vote of the capital improvement committee.
I have a question. So all the pricing at the bottom looks like it's from January of 2025. Does the 577,000 represent an accurate cost estimate for April of 2026?
Yep, so back to the preliminary figures, these numbers are strictly based on the opinion of probable cost for construction.
Okay.
So to answer your question, we won't have the final dollar values until the 30th.
Okay.
But yes, yeah, great question.
Well, but I think his, go along with his question is if the estimate was done, probable cost estimate was done in January of 25. We're a year later.
Yes, I see, my
We got an
apologies.
update?
Yes, I did get an update and these numbers are still accurate.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification. Apologies.
Thanks. Anything else from capital?
No,
Okay, I'll ask for a vote.
Joe Calamari, yes.
Cody Spencer, yes.
Wayne Poitras, yes.
Who's that fifth member?
Me.
No.
I think you have a vacancy.
Yeah, we have.
Yes, she's not here.
Jennifer is
Yeah, fine.
gone.
So, Roland, yes, we didn't actually have to do that because we're all here.
And the next item that I have is actually under 50. These are for the additional mobile lifting units.
Is finance gonna vote on it?
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Motion to recommend $577,000 from retained earnings for water.
So,
Second.
Okay.
Who voted yes? You go first?
Yeah.
Who's the second?
Wayne,
Okay,
Evan LaRoche, yes.
all those in favor?
Joe Calamari, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Poitras, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0. Okay, and
Okay, our next request is for additional mobile lifting units. This request is for the purchase of 2 additional wireless mobile lifting units. These lifts are used to safely elevate heavy-duty vehicles such as dump trucks, loaders, and other municipal equipment. The goal is to improve safety, efficiency, and in-house maintenance capabilities, expanding to our 10-wheel vehicles. And it should be noted that we currently have 4 of these units in our operation that we use routinely. So the request here this afternoon is for 2 additional units. So we have the capability to lift our 10-wheel vehicles. So as it stands, we've got 4 of these that lift a vehicle on each corner. And with the larger trucks, such as our 10-wheel dump truck, our Vector, as well as any requests from fire personnel, things of that nature, we're able to lift the larger vehicles with this additional request. I think there are photos. There we go. These units are portable, so as you can see in the photo here, there are handles that we can wheel these units around as needed, but this is essentially what we would be capable of doing with the added 2 units.
But lifting a vehicle like that, you're doing some pretty severe work on a truck. The town actually does that kind of repair work?
Yeah, that's a great question. Surprisingly enough, major repairs, minor repairs, they all require lifting, and I can give a brief example of that. Oil changes, for example. While it might not be every oil change that we're gonna have it up there, we have the routine procedure for when a vehicle, one of these larger vehicles, is in to have the oil changed. We also spray the undercarriage because an item that had come up previously was rust and rot. So to preserve the life of the vehicle as long as we can, in addition to washing, we're also spraying them with a protectant film. Generally speaking, oil changes are done every 6 months on these larger vehicles. In line with that, we also spray the undercarriage with this protective film on a semi-annual basis. So while it might be a minor task, the oil change in and of itself, we also do additional items while it's up in the air. Inspections of drivetrain, anything that might be required from the underside. This gives us the ability to do it safely and comfortably.
Any other comments or questions? Motion to recommend $30,793 from free cash.
so
Second,
Second.
all those in favor, vote.
Joe Calamari, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Green Poitras, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0. Next,
All I had.
all right, thanks.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you. Apologies on the original mix up there. Thank you.
Jesse, if you can just stick around so that as we go through the articles, in case there's any questions that pop up, thanks.
I think it's you, Chief.
Is that next? I got this late in the day Friday, so.
Me too.
Right, good evening. I don't know if finance voted on this. We talked about it briefly at the, when I did my presentation, so. Not sure. That's a question for you guys, but we're,
It's the cruises, right?
yeah. We need 3. We cut it down just due to budget reasons. I knocked it the request down to 2. In effect, this is, I'm not sure the mechanism where the funding's coming from yet, but in effect, it's going to be self-funded. My turn back is sufficient enough that if you use free cash, that much free cash is coming back July 1st. And if they want to fund it out of on-hand funds, we just do a budget transfer in June. So that's not my decision. That's his decision. So
Right now, we have on the warrant for 2, or before the committee, 2 cruisers, 155,700 and something and change.
Yep.
Being funded from free cash.
155.
I thought the one was coming out of the resolving fund.
I don't have enough to fund that. It would wipe out the account. And we took a slight hit to our expense account with our budget reduction this year, so.
Yeah, 155,862.66.
862.
Yes.
This is free cash.
Yep.
Yes. 2 vehicles.
Yes.
I can go through the quick highlights, but our 2 detail cars, they're our oldest barely alive cars. Still have excuse me. They're still serviceable enough that they're good hand-me-downs at this point. So we have other departments who have some really desperate needs for vehicles. So those are going to get passed on to other departments. And then we're going to take 2 cars that are both at this point getting around 80,000 miles today. Mind you, whatever might get approved today, we don't see for 6 months because the order can't go until May, and then they're 4 months out in the shop. So 6 months from now, those cars will be well north of 90,000. Those will go live in the detail fleet until the cycle next year. And we're deferring one. We have one that had a engine replaced under warranty. We're deferring that one. We're gonna kick that can down the road and kind of hope for the best on that. So to keep our fleet where we need to, if you amortize it out on a spreadsheet, we need to do 2.6 cars per year. That's not a real number. Can't get 0.6 of a car. So this year we're doing 2. Hopefully the financial picture will allow for 3 next year, so we don't kick the can down the road, because the can just becomes maintenance on our end. And then on the back end, it becomes stuff that's not suitable to pass down to other departments because it's in such lousy condition. It becomes a money pit. So
The price for these 2 vehicles, the price is determined under a contract between
yeah, everything's on the
supplier and the state.
no, I'm buying off the Greater Boston Police Council bid list, but it's the same as the VEH 110.
It's a-
The consortium, yeah.
Okay.
That includes new light equipment.
Yeah,
radios.
I might be able to transfer a prisoner insert in one of the
Okay.
Fords because they haven't changed those. So if one of them is still in decent shape, I should save a little money there. What I don't add into this cost is the new tablet for each car. So the cars we're replacing are already 5.5 to 6 years old. So I can't swap a 6-year-old computer. It's at the end of life. So that we're gonna either take out of budget or one of our revolving lines. So this isn't even truly the full scope of the cost to build a new police car, but we hold back a little of that. We take care of, but I might be able to find a little savings with equipment
some equipment I can salvage. It won't be a lot, but maybe
So
5,000.
That electronic equipment, if you have to buy it for one vehicle, what's the cost?
Oh, God, it's about-
5,000,
it-
10,000?
it's disgusting. It's the computer itself is like $3,800. The dock is like $900. It ends up being about $6,300 to put an iPad in a police car, which is
So that's the equipment and the installation.
that's just the computer. The equipment is between 20 and 30,000, depending on what we're building. It's all the equipment's.
Yeah.
They break these out to show the equipment versus the vehicle. It used to be years ago, it used to be the equipment cost about half the amount of the vehicle.
All right, so you said it's how much? What'd you say for one vehicle to put the equipment in?
Between 20 and 30,000, depending
Is that
on.
included in the 155?
Yeah, that's included. What's not included is the computers.
Yeah.
The computers aren't included. We manage that separately, either through a revolving account or a technology account, or I might find some savings with some transfer equipment. So what I'm saying is we're asking for less than we actually need. I actually, to do this right, need about 172,000,
All right,
but I'm not
But you're all
asking for
set
that.
with it, the way you-
I'm doing it for less.
What platform are we using? Expeditions,
One
Explorers?
one Explorer for a line car, one Tahoe for a supervisor command vehicle.
all right, let me ask you it a different way. If you had no equipment to put in the new vehicles, what's the cost of the new vehicle fully supplied with all the equipment you need? Two vehicles, 155 versus
If I
you had nothing to add to the new vehicles, you had to buy everything new.
about 172,000
172 for two vehicles?
with everything, with computers and technology, and yeah. And if I had to put a radio in, I'm gonna try to transfer two-way radios. Those are getting long in the tooth, but I'm gonna go for a transfer.
Okay, so 172 and the 155 has some being transferred.
Some savings in there. Yeah, some equipment's getting transferred.
what's your interoperability with the radios?
I still have none with the mobile radios. We have another project that's in the beyond conceptual stages that's gonna go before the select board in a couple of weeks. That project has the potential to, for no cost to us, replace all of our cruiser radios with interoperability capable radios. If not, that price is $10,000 per radio. We're not doing that now because we've just replaced the portables, so we're making do interop wise with that way. It's baby steps. We're getting there. I'm trying to do that at no cost. So I'm trying not to replace cruiser radios because they're insanely expensive.
Any comments or questions?
No, sir.
Motion to recommend $155,862 for free cash for the two vehicles.
So,
Second,
second,
all those in favor?
Joe Colomati, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Poitras, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0.
Okay, we'll ask for a recommendation now for the finance from the capital improvement committee.
So,
Second,
Second,
Joe Colomati, yes.
Cody's about to say yes.
Wayne Poitras, yes.
Roland Lively, yes.
All right, thank you.
Good for the capital, right?
Chief, one last question.
Yes, sir.
We close out the building committee account yet? for that?
We've not closed it out yet, but it should be closed out within. I thought it would have been closed out by now. I think there's one invoice that's outstanding for the short money, and then it's done. So we'll be sending that back. So that could potentially, like projects.
Did you
whatever
get that
that means.
camper resolved? The camera issue?
I think that is one of the last pending things,
Okay.
trying to figure that thing out. But it's just about done, and it's about 11% under budget.
Okay.
So there's a good return coming back there.
Is that right, Joe? That's it for capital?
That is it for capital.
Okay, so I'm gonna accept the motion and close the capital.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Joe Colomati, yes. Oh, we're all here.
Okay, we're all here.
All here.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Cheers, club.
Yeah. Not if I can help it.
May I go?
No, I don't.
Stick around, Joe, you haven't reached escape velocity.
What?
You haven't reached escape velocity yet.
So next on the agenda, we have just review of the May 27th, 2026 annual town meeting warrant articles excluding capital. You have just a draft document, consider it just a working document. I don't know if you'd like to just go through each one of them. If there's anything you want to approve or wait, Article 1. You didn't make a formal vote to recommend, but you recommended each and every one.
Yeah.
Of the individual components,
Yep, so.
then we can go through and just handle questions or any other discussions.
So why don't we go right through? So we just did Article 3, 4, 5, and 6, right?
Yes.
Right. Then the Article 16, if there gonna be any more capital outlay than what we just had, this, so
No.
those are 16 is done.
Correct.
Same thing with 17, there's still not gonna be any more
That's
additional, all right, so 16 and 17 articles are done. Continuing on the ones that have to do with dollar amounts. Do we have anything tonight for Articles 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31 with their transfers?
Yes. Yes.
Let's do those first.
If you'd like to start with Article 27, transfer to compensate absences, we are not proposing anything, so we would be recommending that this article would be passed over.
Pass over,
Yep.
okay.
Next item 28, transfer to group insurance. We're recommending transfer of $780,000.
780.
Correct. And that's on page 16 of your draft warrant report.
The box.
So me to vote on that individually, right? We're doing these articles one at a time now.
Probably best, you can do them as a group together.
Oh, okay. Can you briefly describe how the $780,000 was calculated, computed?
When our former CFO Heidi, when we were first going over things, looking at trends, we were thinking that we were going to be between the $700,000 and $800,000 mark. That basically we have claims that we're still spending out and money that we haven't received. And in reviewing things with the finance department and HR department, we're wanting to get sort of in that range. So we originally, like earlier today, had it at 750, but we'd just like to put as much as possible. Chris can also speak as far as some of these other dollar amounts and talking with some of our prior financial staff, trying to put in a certain percentage to stabilization, to retirement reserve trust, and keep approximately 10% of the free cash as carrying over to the next fiscal year to supplement anything we come out of from this fiscal year for free cash.
So because the town is self-insured, the 780,000 is the estimate that the town will pay for health insurance services provided between now through June 30. Is that correct?
Correct. We had,
So the way it works is actually health services that might be provided in June could be billed in August, invoice received in August, and it's paid next year out of next year's budget, right?
all this gets transferred in, and ideally each year, we'd be building up the trust fund, so we're not going down to zero. And that's the instances, we're paying claims for, say, claims that originally filed, like or procedures that were done at the beginning of the year, and they're working their way through. We also have some claims that are carrying over from the past fiscal year. So we just don't end, and we're trying to make sure that we have enough to maintain fluidity through June 30th, but hopefully also carry us in when we get the appropriation coming out of this FY 27 appropriation that we're requesting. So ideally, we'd be building that trust, but we're so close to running out and zeroing out before June 30th that we're just trying to throw as much money as we can. But this is at least an amount that our financial team views that we can appropriately put, so we're not getting so close to zero.
So let me ask it a different way. I don't know if municipalities are required to do this or if they do it, but the balance sheet date is June 30th. So at some point after June 30th, 6, 9, 12 months after that, does somebody ever look back at June 30th to see if the amount that was expensed in the general fund and in the special reserve fund, if it was underfunded? Because you get invoices in August, September, October, November, December for services rendered in June, May, April. Is that exercise ever done?
So we, and working with the finance department as well as HR, we meet quite regularly, at least every 3 months with Gallagher, our consultant who tracks these. But then as we get closer to the budget season, we're meeting monthly to go over to make sure that we're seeing what the trend lines are. And we're looking at actual claims while we're then also looking at sort of like the year ahead. So we're looking to get into the weeds as far as number of prescriptions, filled, the cost of those, and getting updates to see where we are during the fiscal year, to see are we trending above like where we were last year, and therefore are we running the risk of being underfunded as we progress during the year. This dollar amount takes into account those conversations with Gallagher, looking at basically our run rate through the fiscal year to see where we're trending, and then also to identify and help us plan for the upcoming fiscal year. That's sort of how these all, if you want to.
Well, we were trending being underfunded. This is to get ahead of the game here, to put as much money in as possible. Because, looking forward to 2028, we're looking at another rate increase. So this is, to properly fund the health trust.
Could you clarify something for me? When you say claims, you're talking about bills from providers, right? When the bills from providers hit, that's what you're tracking.
Exactly.
So what's the name of the company that is advising the town?
Gallagher.
So did Gallagher?
Mhm.
So did Gallagher offer their opinion on the $780,000?
They identified working with, our finance and HR team, what, where we're progressing, but they don't have access to our books. And that's where we take their data, and on the finance side, then we're extrapolating where we're gonna end up. So the 780 is, from our perspective, a conservative. We could probably reduce that a little bit, but don't wanna run the risk of zeroing out. So, we also want to maintain some sort of flexibility going into the next fiscal year. Not that, what was that, $180,000 that we're carrying
Yeah.
from free cash as undesignated. It's not like that's a lot.
Really, rule of thumb, we should keep about 10% in the free cash account.
Anybody have any comments or questions? Motion to recommend $780,000 from free cash, Article 28.
Second.
So moved, I guess.
Somebody make,
So moved, any second.
all those in favor?
Joe Colorado, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Fletcher says.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0. Article 29.
So Article 29, Pension Retirement Reserve Trust Fund. We're recommending transferring $75,000 to that trust fund from free cash.
And this funds, what is this actually fund?
So this is a trust fund, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's set up to stabilize the costs associated with the retirement.
With the pension costs.
Right.
So this is the one that stabilizes the pension cost. It's. Okay,
Correct. Yeah, so every year, really, along with this fund as well as stabilization, every year you should at least put in a small percentage.
do you know what the fund balance is?
Right now, I don't have that in front of me, but I can get that for you.
Okay. I'll ask you this question because I've asked all the CFOs before you. Are we investing it in the Brim Public Investment Retirement group?
I would have to look at that.
Because they had a good return last
Yeah.
year. They returned 11%. And the year before that, they returned 9%. And we were keeping it in a savings account, getting 0.5%.
Wow. What, Chris, do you recall what, do we use, Rockland Trust to assist us with our investments? Or Bartholomew?
Yes.
Could use.
So, I mean, we're usually, municipalities are dealing with, also, almost to advise us on handling funds. Rockland Trust is one that many towns deal with, as well as Bartholomew, as far as the question, and as far as we're just not opening up basic savings account, getting 0.5% on money caught. So especially for some of our funds, some of the things that we don't need on a weekly or sort of longer term basis, we'll invest utilizing either Rockland Trust or
And we have Hilltop, who are our
Right,
who are
there
our
you go.
financial advisors, so.
to help us make sure that we're gaining some revenue, because we actually book as a revenue line, investment income. So I don't know, like sometimes some trust funds then are handled differently, because there is state language that governs how you can invest some of those things. But, we can probably find out a little bit more
Yeah,
specifically
I'll
on
reach
that
out to
account.
Hilltop.
Yeah, but Primm's a pretty good return on investment historically. And that they've financed probably 104 of the retirement accounts throughout the state, both on the state level and the local level. And you don't have to put all your money in there, but stuff that you can lock away and I mean, you can get 10, 11%. It's a hell of a lot better than getting 3 or 4%.
Yeah, but you're saying put it in what?
I think it's PRIG or PRIM. Public investment,
PRM.
PRM. I should have saved the newsletter I got from diaries. But they earned 11.7% last year. And the year before that, it was 9 something.
Any other comments or questions? Article 29, motion to recommend $73,000 from free cash.
They do 75.
$75,000.
Yep.
Free cash.
So move.
Second. Those in favor, aye.
Joe Calamari, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Mike Purchase, yes.
Randy Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0, Article 29. Article 30,
So same dollar amount, 75,000 going to stabilization fund.
from free cash.
Yes.
Any comments or questions on Article 30?
We have a balance on that account. I know that this A and F likes you to have at least 5% of your operating budget.
I can get you that balance as well.
Yeah, I've asked for those questions before, and they don't include that level of detail in the audited financial statements, or this. The individual funds are not in the audited financial statements. So I have no idea how many separate funds the town has. There must be a consolidating balance sheet and P and L.
Yep.
You have any idea how many, we talking like 50 or 150 accounts?
Between 50 and 100.
Is there actually a consolidating balance sheet and P and L with 150 separate?
Yeah, we build a spreadsheet in the finance office,
You
and I
do?
can get you a breakdown.
Actually, is it in an Excel file?
I do have it as of February 11th. Stabilization
Yeah.
Trust Fund balance.
February 11th?
Yeah, but the balance is only as of June 30th, 2025. And the stabilization trust fund is at 2,897,164. We do also have a tax stabilization fund at 2,320,375 dollars.
Those are the fund balances as of June 30th last year.
Yes. And then, sorry, there's also a capital investment fund, but that balance is only 92,708.
Are you looking at an Excel file right now?
Yes, I am.
How many columns are in it with all of the funds?
Well, the columns start in FY13, go out to FY25, and then there's rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows, capital, group insurance, trust.
Oh, I thought
stabilization.
you were looking at a balance sheet.
No,
Oh.
No.
Now, are you speaking of like, oh, revolving accounts?
Actually, talking about every single account that
Every
the
single
town
account.
has. I'm picturing it as a balance sheet. One after another,
Yeah.
consolidating balance sheet. The town doesn't have any
I don't-
document like
I'd
that.
have to, I'd have to look,
I'd have to defer to
yeah, we got-
finance. Yeah, so. In my last community, we had a trust fund committee where they had over some trusts, they had direct responsibility. And I get unfortunately, they only did it on an annual basis, list out every single individual one. But it would identify what the mixture was of investments and all that, so you could see basically, say for Pristine Trust, those monies would be invested in like 5 or 6 different accounts, investment funds. And then you'd have all those totals. Then we also use Bartholomew, who dealt with some money on the town side, and they would prepare quarterly reports. I've not seen anything here, and it really depends on the question, what we get from not Rockland, the Hilltop.
Hilltop, yeah, I haven't received any,
Yeah.
I've been.
So we'll have to take a look.
Hilltop.
Our financial
Advisors.
consultants.
Yeah.
It just means that it hasn't come across my desk, doesn't mean we don't get it,
Exactly.
so.
Anybody got any idea what they charge for a fee to manage our money?
That's a really good question that usually comes up very often. When people start asking about balances, since you want to make sure that you're competitive with some of the other Bartholomew's, or Unibank, does the same thing. So there's a lot of financial services that other institutions also provide.
The firm operation is operated by the state retirement system. They have a group of investments
Mhm.
and investors and make all the decisions on what they're gonna invest,
Yeah.
bonds, stocks, real estate, whatever.
Mhm.
And I don't know what the fee is, but I think it's probably at least as cheap as what we're paying for any of these other private for-profit businesses.
So I have a different set of questions that have been a problem. When you send me some information, I'm gonna send you questions that has to do with town's investments. And the investments on how they're actually made. Are they made in the name of the town? Or are they made in the name of the bank or some other company? Because
No,
that
in the-
creates a
in
level
the
of
town.
risk that I'm very
So
uncomfortable
there's-
with, and I'm gonna make an issue of it if it's not invested in the town's name.
Oh, it is involved. It is invested in the town's name.
Because if you read the audited financial statements of multiple cities and towns, even in Massachusetts, some of them have invested, some of them have their cash invested and it's not invested in their own name, so there's a second kind of risk by doing that. So the town's financial statements should be disclosing whether it's invested in the town's name or if it's invested in somebody else's name for the town. So are you're familiar with that, right?
No,
Yeah, so I would,
I mean,
so we can talk about that later, but.
yeah, I mean, those are all things that I'm sure. One, there are specific sections of MGL that basically govern how towns are able to invest, and there's also laws that don't allow you to invest in like foreign stocks and other things. It all has to be local. Yeah, we can.
This is not what you're investing in, but whose name it's being invested in. It's like it's not being invested in your name.
Yeah.
Your name, the town's name, and that creates a level of risk that.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it wouldn't, but we can easily look it up,
Yeah,
because
John,
most of these things.
any questions that you have,
Okay.
please just email me and I'll
Okay.
research it.
So I'll look at the financial statements that just came out.
Okay,
See if
yeah,
it's in
I
there.
sent you today, yep.
So this is Article 30, $75,000 for free cash.
Yep.
The stabilization fund. Any additional comments or questions?
No, it seems like the number's kind of low for stabilization fund though. But I think that probably affect our bond rating, we're kind of big bond.
That's why I don't want to,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why we want to put the money in. You know,
Yeah.
we should always put it in strictly because of that bond rating. You know, but our main focus here, and we know what the issue is that we're facing, you know, this fiscal year, next fiscal year, and in, you know, the following, is health insurance costs. That's why we're focusing on building up that fund.
Good. Any other comments or questions on Article 30, $75,000 from free cash?
So move.
Motion to recommend $75,000 from free cash for Article 30.
So move.
Second, all those in favor?
Joe Calamari, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Poitras, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0. Article 30, Article 31.
we're not recommending any transfer to capital, so we'd, pass
We
over
passed
this.
over. Okay,
Then Article 32, we do have, two, unpaid bills, both with RA and, Rhode Island Analytical, both in the amount of $100 for a total of $200.
motion to recommend $200 for unpaid bills from free cash.
Yes.
So move. Second,
Second,
all those in favor?
Joe Calamari, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Poitras, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes. Article 32, $200 free cash recommended 6-0. Okay. What other articles in order?
So
A lot of the other ones don't have financing.
no, we're gonna be adding, so when I looked at last year's and then the year before's finance committee report, I basically saw that finance committee had a recommendation for everything. Including zoning, street acceptance. So,
Yeah, we do because there's no public hearing held by another committee. So that's my, if you look at Article 23, 24. 23, 24, and 25. Planning board, are they gonna have public hearing on those? They will. So
Yep.
that means since there's no dollar amounts in there and there's a public hearing by another board, finance committee cannot vote on those.
okay,
We
I'm
cannot.
sort of seeking dirt because last year on zoning articles, this format showing recommended by finance and recommended by planning board was consistent. I'd have to look.
Because they didn't do public hearings. I'll send you the,
Okay.
what's in the, legal document.
Okay.
It says, if another board has a public hearing and there's no financing, the
Mhm.
finance committee cannot make a recommendation.
Okay, is that in the charter or bylaw?
It's either the charter or the bylaws. It's very, very clear. And that was, I asked some questions and somebody told me that was specifically intentional, that if there was another
Okay.
public hearing but no finance, they did not want the finance committee. So I'm very careful that we don't overstep that.
Yeah, no, okay. On those zoning articles, planning board is and has scheduled a public hearing. So I can delete finance committee.
23, 24, and 25, there are public hearings by another board. Okay, so that means we don't do that. So I have a question on Article 19, Community Preservation Act. That's by two individuals.
Yes, citizens petition.
They want to present to.
I was gonna ask if you want to have them come in on the 27th to
It's not
review.
up to us, it's up to them. If this is their article, if they want to present to us, it's up to them.
I can ask if they'd like to, for a citizens petition that involves financial matters. has because there's not a public hearing. So if they know finance committee is gonna provide a recommendation, I'm sure they want to show up.
See, again, this one doesn't have any financing, so, but there isn't another board that's gonna have a public hearing on this.
Correct.
There
So
is
because
not.
it's citizens petition and this doesn't create a bylaw, this is about adopting the Community Preservation Act. So while they did appear before the select board, they also appeared before planning, conservation and school. What
They did
this,
go before the select board,
but no public
but
hearing,
it was not a public hearing.
correct. They wanted to get the board's support. I'd say it would be accurate, the board didn't indicate their support, but encouraged them to proceed with a citizens petition. Adopting the CPA, then per Article 19, does, basically, just trying to identify the best way to say it. It does result in a surcharge on the property tax bill. You exempt the first $100,000 of value. And then there are exclusions for seniors, low-income people, as well as certain types of commercial and industrial property. But again, that's like discounting the first $100,000. They would be setting the surcharge at 1.5%. There is a state match that would come in, and that state match varies as far as how much the state puts in. But the Community Preservation Act, which then is enacted on the local level through a Community Preservation Committee, can only be spent on open space, recreation, historic preservation, and affordable housing.
So this is a yearly tax.
Yes, it is perpetual until town meeting then votes to not to do it anymore.
Okay.
And when it says 1%. Of
You
the
got a
annual
$500,000 house, you're paying 1% of 400,000.
So of the tax bill. So if you had,
It's not the value of the property, it's 1.75% of the annual real estate tax levy.
yep, excluding the first 100,000 of valuation. So say you had a $500,000 property, you're assessed at $500,000. That tax bill that you'd see based on 500,000. To calculate this, you'd actually reduce it down to 400,000, and then you would do the 1.5 of what that tax bill would look like. It's not on the full assessment of 500,000.
So now you're paying a double tax. You're paying your real estate tax and you're paying a tax on your tax. It's a double taxation.
You are correct in paying a second tax.
That's the tax on the tax.
So you are, no, it's not that, this has been in place since 2002. There's roughly about 100 and thought it was 36 communities that have adopted the CPA. So some of our neighboring towns already had done, and towns that I worked for did it back, they've been doing it for the last 25 years.
So this is saying if you pay $1,000 in property tax, you're gonna have to pay an extra $15.
Correct.
$15.
Yep.
In addition to 1,000,
Yes.
not 1.5% of the value.
No. Of the actual tax bill. Minus that.
So your tax bill $4,000, you're gonna pay 1.5% of that, so that's $60.
Yep.
Every
Exactly.
year. Now, I thought the community preservation tax worked on when you sold the house.
That's
Okay.
how the state match gets generated. So the state collects those transaction fees, gets into a bucket, and then they distribute it as the state match.
based on the number of participants and the value of each community.
Uh,
That's in it.
they'll fluctuate so that, towns that had it for a long time, they'll reduce the share, and towns that more recently adopt it, they'll increase the share. We had it in Upton, and we basically got, about 35 to 38% match. So whatever we did, an extra 38% was what we were getting back from the state.
So,
When this first happened, it was a 1-to-1 match.
so have these they haven't reached out to me, these two individuals for Article 19 about presenting.
They may not have, realized it. So if the finance committee, would be okay, I'll reach out to them to see if they would like to.
It's up to them.
Present.
It's-
I'm sure they would want, they've gone to, besides select board, school committee, planning, conservation. So I'm sure they would, love an opportunity to explain. No, it was all just, we're looking just to make you aware that we're putting this on the warrant and to try to get support.
So does selectmen ever give an opinion, yes or no?
No, they didn't.
They just listen, everybody listens. No,
And not one of those made it a public hearing?
No.
And why?
Because there wouldn't be a mechanism for a public hearing. It's only through town meeting. It's not like you're adopting a bylaw yet. It requires, 2 steps. First, town meeting's authorization, and then at a subsequent, election to then, have voters. This would be on the ballot, potentially in the fall, but potentially a year from now. Because sort of like Albright, it requires both of those, town meeting and a ballot. So this isn't something that after town meeting, you're gonna start to see. This is like a 1.5-year process.
All right, so the way this works is they should have contacted the finance committee to come in because of what the town charter and bylaws say. Public hearing.
I can reach out and ask for them to come on the 27th.
So it's the charter. Chapter C, section 3, 2.3.1. Says it says, well, can I read it?
Oh,
To permit discussion of the subject matter of all articles contained in the warrant, except those articles subject to a public hearing by another municipal member board and not containing appropriations. So if some other committee had them in a public hearing, we would not be able to have a public hearing or vote on it because there's no appropriation. And that's why we're not having public hearings or making a recommendation on those other 3 articles we just passed over, because some other board is having a public hearing and there's no financing. So I don't want to violate that requirement in the town charter. Ever.
yeah.
Okay, so that's Article 19.
Yes.
How about some of the other articles that we have not? One of you,
Do you want to just start with Article 7 and then just work our way downward?
Yep.
Some of these are standard language, and like Article 7, conveyance and easements, Jesse may have a better idea as far as what we traditionally do with Article 7.
Article 7 is in every year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a standard. And usually there's many years where the town does not take any action on the Article 7, correct?
I mean, that's where, because it's only to authorize, I'm assuming it's an annual authorization that allows a Jesse to, and the town through the select board to acquire by gift, purchase, eminent domain
Yeah.
easements for water or sewer. I don't know how often that comes in front of the select board as having authorization.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We
But it's
voted
there
on
every
it, we
year.
voted on it every year.
Every year, yeah.
We have to vote on it.
Yeah.
Because there's no public hearing by anybody else. Does anybody have any comments or questions on Article 7? Motion to recommend Article 7,
No recommend.
second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Joe Colomati, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Quintus, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended. Article 7, 6-0.
Article 8 is purchase of surplus equipment. Again, it basically,
This is every year, it's the same thing. This is like Article 7, it's a standard, there's no financing. Anybody have any comments or questions? We're gonna move right along.
So
Motion to recommend,
So moved.
second. All those in favor?
Aye, Joe Colomati, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Quintus, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes. Article 6, recommended 6-0. Wait,
Article 8.
I'm sorry, Article 8. Oh yeah, Article 9, town property auction.
So moved.
Again, this is every year.
Yeah, yeah.
There are many years where there is not an auction. Anybody have any comments or questions on Article 9? Motion to recommend.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Joe Colomati, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Quintus, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0.
Highway construction's the same thing, boilerplate.
Article 10, highway construction. The same as the previous ones, it's a standard.
So
Is there a
moved.
motion to recommend Article 10?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Joe Colomati, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Quintus, yes.
Brian Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes, recommended 6-0. You know, if we're gonna be doing, if we're gonna be amending
yes, and that's for,
another meeting,
no, I mean, that's where this is basically snow and ice deficit. So we're, right now, we just put in 500,000. I can wait until the next meeting. Once we get closer, how, as we get closer to town meeting, I'd be pulling together the warrant. I'm sorry, the motions, on town meeting form. We'd be inserting the full amount.
Alright, so let's, you'll have a better number in a future. meeting.
Correct.
All right,
Yeah.
let's put it off for
Okay,
Article 12. Will that be a passover?
yes. That's
13?
trash, water, Passover,
Over.
right? There's, for these enterprise, you don't need any.
14,
Okay,
14 a passover?
yep. 15 as well.
15 is passover, we already did 16 and 17.
Yep.
18.
So this one here, I talked with our Board of Health, agent, because just looking at the language, one of the things that I was a little confused about was we don't have $300,000 in the budget, for this system. And what he basically said was that, this is standard language that they use these funds and the funding source is coming from a state program. And he gave me some information that referenced, the Clean Water Bus Fund as a funding source for doing, repairs to septic systems. I've asked for clarification from town council. So that really for the motion, we can tighten this up. Because there's no way that I want to have like the motion read to raise appropriate the sum
Yeah.
by taxation or come from available funds or
Yeah.
borrowing.
Right.
So I should have a response probably within a week to then reflect this so I can give that response to you so you know what, if you recommend, what that exactly is for.
Yeah, we voted on this several times over the years.
But I didn't see it every year. Like it wasn't in last year's. I saw it like 3
Yeah.
years
I
ago.
can't find it in last year. I thought it was in last
Couple of
year.
years ago, I know.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at home in my old records then. But this is where the town loans money to homeowners.
Right.
Interest,
We're like
interest free.
We're like
They
the,
repay it.
right, we sign like the contract, but the funding source is
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
from a state program.
So we work as like a pass-through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And what they refer to it as is the Title V program.
yeah, I thought we had that last year. I'm gonna have to look at the year before,
I think it was the year before or 2023.
really. I
So,
didn't think it was that long ago.
Yeah, it was-
But this $300,000 is not in the budget,
no,
right?
that's why I don't like having in the article where it says taxation
Yeah.
or borrowing. So,
$300,000.
so I'd say just hold off on this. I'm gonna get clarification language. So that if we need to say recommend by finance committee 6-0 and then have basically a conditional clause stating this with funding source coming from state programs or something like that. Then at least if this is something that should be on next year's warrant, then I can take that modified language and put in here as part of the motion and then make sure that we keep that for next year.
Yeah, because see right here, it says for borrowing or otherwise, it's otherwise. But the part that comes after that, to authorize the issuance and sale of general obligation bonds.
Right.
Let me look at how it was written previously. I don't.
Yeah.
Think that was in there. Okay,
You need bonds because of the lag in state funding. You're gonna spend it this year and you can state fund.
That's
I
where
don't think we need bar.
I've not used this program, so that's why I wanted to get clarification from Dylan. And the response raised more questions for me. So wanted to then kick it to legal counsel to identify what we should have the language as.
Yeah, let me look at what I wrote the last time we voted on
Okay.
this. Article 20.
So Article 20 is a small land donation. I'm just gonna quickly pull up this and share it with you on the screen.
But I was taking land off the tax rolls by somebody who doesn't want a piece of land that's too small to build on.
It's really small. It's nothing that can be built on, and the adjacent property is paid their taxes so that because they had been in arrears, they have no interest. They can't sell it, and they basically wanted to donate it to the town. Let me just pull this up. Yeah, there might be some value as far as and what you can see here is this screen is basically a wetland on the state GIS. And then this little yellow parcel is the portion that is the property that they want to donate it to the town. Yeah, there's the potential that we could utilize this for stormwater improvements or
That's some pond drainage.
yeah,
That really piss them off.
make that a bigger wetland. But
83 years old.
Don't hold back, Joe. Don't hold back.
When it says, select board for Article 20, does that mean the select board approves this?
that they voted to put it on the warrant.
So they only
For
voted to
accept,
put it on the
for
warrant.
ex-
They didn't make, they didn't make a decision that they're in favor of.
I- And maybe we can ask Cody on this. In many towns I worked in, if the select board votes to put it on the warrant, they're generally supportive unless they make conditional statements saying we want to have the residents vote on and have the ultimate say. Here, it would have been that they paid the taxes so that they are current. They don't want it. They're out of state. Mrs. Beaufort passed away. They're trying to just get rid of it. And from the town side, as far as town staff, namely through the assessors, we identified, you know what? It's not the worst thing. They're current, they paid their taxes. They now want to get rid of it because otherwise we're spending time. If they then stop and then they accrue, we're just keep doing this and spending staff
I
time.
just assumed they lived right next door. They don't live next door to that land. That's not them.
No,
Oh, all right, so.
no, this is literally the homeowner that has that wetland on their system that can't build on it. They want to take the tax write-off to donate it to the town. And the select board, talking to Betsy, our assessor, it's like, yeah, let's put it on the warrant. That would be the only way to accept that donation. So, but because it's adjacent to the wetland, you do have some compact density in that area. There could be the opportunity for us to deal with something with stormwater to clean water coming off the road. So there is some value. It's not much. We're not gonna sell it off and get money either. She couldn't sell it for all these years and, we may have a public benefit.
So it's unbuilt. It's
Unbuildable.
unbuildable, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but there's nothing there.
No, there's nothing there.
Okay. Anybody have any other comments or questions on Article 20? Motion to recommend Article 20,
So move.
second.
Second.
All those in favor?
No Calamari, no.
Evan LaRoche, no.
Wayne Pointers, no.
Ryan Post, no.
Kevin Kepler, no.
John Allen, yes. Not recommended. 5-1. Twenty-one?
21.
There's not gonna be a public hearing on that one, is that correct? Street acceptance,
What is it?
Technically, yes.
there is a public
But-
hearing?
So there will be a public hearing to accept the layout. That will probably be May 18th with the select board for both Article 21 and Article 22.
Usually the DPW director gets involved then and makes a recommendation. That's how it's been in the past. Do you have
That's-
any position on this?
No, wait a minute, we don't have any authority to do this if somebody else is having a public hearing, so you can't, the finance committee can't ask that question. If
There will
somebody-
be a public hearing with the select board for both of these upcoming articles for accepting a layout, which then is the step to go before town meeting for street acceptance.
So if the select board is having a public hearing on Article 22 and 23. We don't have any say.
Sorry, I'm looking back at the charter just to see if it says public hearing, because ours by statute only needs to be a meeting. So we're holding a meeting. It's not a public hearing.
Well, that's my question. It says,
Yep, I just
Public
looked. Yep.
so are those meetings public hearings?
No, it's a public meeting. It's not a public hearing.
They're petitioning the board to have the street accepted. The DPW director is always weighed in on it, and we used to vote on it based on the DPW's director's
Right.
recommendation.
I understand, but he said there's a public hearing by the select board, which is different.
The public meeting.
public meeting. But there are on this, and it's not a public hearing either. Both these streets are gonna be on the April 23rd planning board meeting to determine whether or not, the subdivision is, complete, and to recommend to the select board to, proceed with the layout meeting. That's why we're scheduling our meeting later on in May, so that we can consider that. This might, because the finance committee has provided recommendations, on street acceptance. We're not there yet. I wouldn't want to have you recommend favorably or unfavorably. You could do it on a conditional basis, or state that you'll provide a recommendation at town meeting, and then you just post for 15 minutes before to vote on it. I personally think that there's a lot of hurdles, and these two streets may kick to fall town meeting.
That happens often.
Yep. We've seen this one, candlelight and all that. You've seen it on a bunch of town meeting warrants over the last couple of years. So my thought, because there are significant issues that I was even out there today doing a site inspection. At this point, if you were to ask DPW, they say no, because we haven't resolved those issues. Can they resolve them by town meeting? Maybe, maybe not, but I just recommend deferring that action until.
So the issues that you're referring to, if the town accepted it, are those issues that could cost town money? Oh, it could.
We would, if these issues that we're meeting on right now do not get resolved, DPW will not recommend a town meeting to accept it.
Because
Planning board won't recommend
if we
either.
accept it, we'll have to pay. to
Correct. Or
remedy
it's,
whatever the issue. Oh, all right.
correct, or it's a
All right.
long-term liability. You know, we're still having engineers go over solutions to some of these
I'm
things.
pretty sure the finance committee will not recommend something that we have to spend money on after we accept it to make it usable. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, I mean, I wouldn't even bring it
All right.
before you to do that, so.
So let's skip over 21 and 22.
By the 27th, we know exactly where planning board is, and then, you know, can provide a recommendation as far as what to maybe include in your report.
So Article 26. $1,000 amendment.
So that does not require public hearing. It's an article to petition the general court to amend the charter specifically to make the requirement that the chief financial officer serve as town accountant be more passive than a requirement.
And this is something that the town wants to do.
Correct.
And the select board is not opposed to it.
Correct.
Is there anybody that's opposed to it?
Not that I know.
Anybody have any kind of? I don't have any questions. Does anybody have any comments or questions on Article 26?
No, it's streamlined the business, I guess.
Motion to recommend Article 26.
We'll move.
Second. All those in favor?
Joe Calamari, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Lane Poikis, yes.
Ryan Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler,
Yes.
John Allen, yes. Recommended 6-0. Article 26.
About 23, 24, 25, John.
Well, those are gonna be public hearings.
It's gonna be public hearing.
By others,
Okay.
so we're not gonna touch those, this is the public hearing and there's no dollar amount.
They said it's gonna be passed over. Is it 28, 29?
Yep.
30? Very, it will be passed over, unpaid bills, so we'll just pass that.
Well, we only have a couple of items to deal with then on the next
Yeah.
meeting.
We have Article 18. Article 2 and Article 1. Article 1, we've already gone through all of the accounts, Article 1.
Yeah.
Total for Article 1 is 41,690,620 to be funded from taxation. Is that number of you know? Oh, wait a minute, no, that doesn't include town. I'm in school.
Right.
78,948,009 funded from taxation, Article 1, general fund. Motion to recommend.
Just want clarification on that. That's the school department not getting the override.
Correct.
They get the override. Will be.
Correct article. The only reason, I mean, it still sounds low and I just don't, with what I have here. I'm looking to see, because the way that the finance committee report was structured last year and the other years, you basically listed out all the major category groups. And I thought, let me just pull back the Word document. So that is exclusive of the enterprise accounts. So it includes school, and all of the, basically the general fund articles. I don't, Chris, do you have that broken down on that
I don't.
sheet?
That,
Okay.
that number excludes enterprise funds.
Right, okay.
That's the Article 1 number. Last year, the Article 1 number was $76,114,000.
What was that then? 76,114?
76,114.
I have so for FY 27, I have 78,948,009
For what year? This year?
coming for 27. That we're
This
gonna
year?
vote, no. That we're voting for 2027.
78, 89, 48,
Yeah,
009.
009.
Yeah,
So last year for 2026, John, we're in agreement. It was 76,114,600. So for what you guys are gonna be voting, recommending for 2027, it would be 78,948,009.
Yeah, 78,948,009.
Yeah, correct.
okay.
Yep. So I was agreeing.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I thought you were
Nope.
at $78,948,009. Article 1, free cash. Motion to recommend.
So 78, 948,
009.
so moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Joe Calamari, yes.
Evan LaRoche, yes.
Wayne Poitras, yes.
Ryan Post, yes.
Kevin Kepler, yes.
John Allen, yes. $78,948,009 from free cash, Article 1, recommended 6-0.
Joe, going forward, do we get a printout of the agendas? I know you posted online, but used to getting a printout at the meeting.
I picked up on that when on the Capitol, and seeing you give him your copy. So for the next meeting, you'll have copies of the agenda and that.
So it's been like that since I've been on here. When when everybody walked in, they handed out copies of everything that we had to deal with. So that's why I've been caught off guard. So if they did print tonight's agenda, you're fine. So that's Article 1. So what we just voted on for Article 1, do you think that could change between now and the town meeting?
No.
That's not gonna, that's a fixed number.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
No, I mean, realistically, everything else ends up being just formatting it into the table for finalizing this document. So,
Yeah, the only figure that's still in flux is snow and ice, but
yeah,
But snow
and
ice-
that's minor, that's minor.
That's
It's not gonna
minor.
exceed 500.
Yeah, but snow and ice is a little bit different under state law, right? That came out, what, 5 or 6 years ago or something. They changed state law as to how to adjust snow and ice removal. It's less formal.
We don't have to vote on it every
No,
year.
meaning
for
you
them to
you
model.
could spend the money without finance committee approval.
Yeah, but we still have to approve it.
Yep.
At the end for the
Yeah.
annual meeting.
But once it's spent, it's kind of a routine thing. You have to approve it. You already spent the money.
Right.
It's just.
but I was just stating, we'll have a more solid number.
Yeah.
John, are we still looking to move or have we done it? If I missed it, I apologize. Article 2 from us to the townspeople voting on it?
No, that's,
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing with that.
That's a good-
So part of this ends up being, I think, Bellingham culture. Some towns will, finance committees, take a vote to recommend or not. Some select boards will take, more defined votes to support or not. That's happening in my hometown, Northbridge, some of the towns around. But, you don't have to provide a recommendation. You can basically, state that the finance committee does not take a position on this. But we all know on town meeting floor, someone's gonna be asking, has the finance committee voted on it? You know. Don't know if there's information, that would assist the finance committee or, put in something that says, because of the timeline for this, we can wait until the 27th of April, see if there's any information that schools are putting out. I know I'm gonna be attending tomorrow night's school committee meeting, to basically support with any questions that may come up, because some of the feedback I'm getting and some of the questions that are being raised, for all of us and select board as well as staff, this budget process started months ago. 6, 7 months ago, and then having the joint meetings, going over things in January and February. For a lot of people, they're just seeing it now and they're asking a bunch of questions that then I have to sort of relay, here's what we did for the process, while it's being framed as, well, even Article 2 identifies it's an override to supplement the school budget. People say, well, why isn't the town cutting? Well, we did go through. It's just that we went through on the front end to reduce things like paving from the prior year, reduce things from police, fire, and then presented to jointly to school committee, select board, and finance committee. Here's where we are after trying to trim down our expenditures, and it still leaves us with this condition. And we identified, free cash dwindling, new growth dwindling, escalating costs as far as contracted services, employment contracts, but then also health insurance. So for a lot of, this is popping up on residents' radars now, and they're asking all these questions. So one of the things I'm going to sort of remind everyone that, we've been at this now for 3.5 straight months. and even the school committee meeting in December identifying some of these issues. You may have residents and people that attend town meeting to ask, has finance committee reviewed this and made a recommendation? You don't have to do that right now. You don't have to even do that on the 27th. You could defer to town meeting floor to take a vote, or I don't know what also is customary. Very often towns have customary traditions on how they deal with these.
I don't think the finance committee, I don't think this is an issue for the finance committee because it's such a specific issue. I mean, you have a handful of expenses that increase substantially, like health insurance, that there's nothing you can do about it, nothing. And then you have expenses where you can cut the number of employees, you can do that. So somebody has to actually explain it, as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Because the cost of health insurance went up so much and you can't not pay it, but you can lay off employees. And that would be just like in any company, just like in any city, state, anybody that, you know, just can't do like the federal government does, just borrow and issue debt that you're never gonna pay. Town can't do that. So it's really not a finance committee thing. But I just hope somebody explains it clearly in a very, very simple term. That expenses we can't control have increased substantially. So you have to cut something, and you have to cut an expense that you can control. You can't not heat your buildings, can't not pay your electric bill.
Yeah.
You can't not pay your insurance. You kinda,
I just see an inconsistency where you're being asked to recommend one article when you just voted to recommend an article that is its opposite, you know? Only if that article fails, do you get to this article.
So,
Oh, no, you have to pass Article 1. If you,
yeah.
if you don't, there's nothing to supplement $3 million for. So the only Article 1 is a standalone. That's our operating budget. That's all we have money for. With 2.5 new growth and all that stuff. The second is the 3 million, but it's contingent on passage at the ballot. And Article 2 doesn't happen if it fails at the ballot. Article 2 fails at town meeting. Could it pass at the ballot? Yes. And then the select board would have a tough decision as far as calling a special town meeting. But the record has sort of shown on the pass fail rates of overrides. It is harder to pass it at the ballot than it is at town meeting. Realistically, we could be dealing with a much different issue depending on how many people show up. We may not have room and we may have to adjourn to go to a football field. That could happen more likely, and you know, I'm already trying to figure out, okay, how do we have satellite areas, because they also all have to be interconnected from AV and assistant moderators in each of those areas. It's will take a lot of coordination, but if it happened where it passed at the ballot and not town meeting, that is a rarity because majority fail at the ballot because it's just too easy for people when they're by themselves to say, I don't have the money, so I'm voting no. But at town meeting, you're surrounded, even though you have clickers, there's sort of like that pressure as far as you're hearing everyone talk, and the schools will do a great job of getting attention. I mean, getting attendance to come to town meeting. They'll basically say it's so important for you to attend that we could be dealing with capacity issues. So is it possible that it fails and then passes? Yes, but I then would play the lottery because it hardly ever happens. I can't, I'd have to look to see.
there's a third scenario that you left out.
So,
School department, somebody from the school committee gets up and amends everybody's budget downward to get the money that they need if the override fails.
oh, okay, then there's a fourth.
Say that again.
Let's say the override fails. You can amend the budget on the floor with a motion. And I've seen it, it's happened. I know it's happened because
Oh,
I seen it happen to me. That on the floor, somebody amends everybody's budget to reduce it by a certain amount of money so that they can fund what they want. In the
I've
school
never
budget.
seen that, but I guess, yeah, they
It
could.
has, it's happened to me in Rentham. That's a proposition 2.5 in the 80s.
That would be tough for $3 million. I mean, one of the challenges is that,
Just gotta be prepared for it. 'cause-
oh, no, I mean, that's where I think town meeting night, it's gonna be a long meeting. A lot of questions and potentially things like that. I've also heard people say that, maybe town meeting can table discussion on Article 2. Continue discussion on that article to another night after the ballot. Because if the ballot then passes, then you can take up at that future date, override, and then vote it at a later day.
Sheesh.
That procedural, how you get that to occur, let's say there's 800 people that are there, how you're informing everyone, hey, let's do this. School is gonna bring out people that are there and they want to vote that night. Then you're asking to change the procedure, and town meeting has to then vote to do that. There could be a very lengthy discussion. I've heard that that is floated as a concept out there that could happen. Yours is even scarier because I've been part of that, but only with like, say, 150 or something $1,000 where it's reasonable, but to identify 3 million out of the towns, that would be scary.
They don't have to go for a whole 3 million. They could go for 1.5 million. They could go for 1 million. But the ability to amend everybody's budget does exist.
But the challenge is the ballot will be printed, and because of our timing, 3 million is still in the ballot.
Yeah.
But somebody could amend it. How many clickers does the town have?
I'm getting extra.
Oh.
And I don't mean I'm getting extra,
Just in case.
some of the towns, because we have the same system, there's other towns that we could borrow from and it would be able to be incorporated into our system. Last year when Mendon and Upton had a debt exclusion for, $30 million debt exclusion for school facilities. I borrowed like 300 clickers from the town of Grafton, and we had to get them all up and running in
Okay.
advance of town meeting. We never needed it, but you have to prepare.
How
So
many
we can
people-
borrow from other towns.
How many people can fit in a school gymnasium?
I'm told 900
In the auditorium, but.
Yeah.
Really?
The
auditorium.
gymnasium or the auditorium?
In the auditorium, that's what Peter said, which being there, that seems really high.
Okay, that's the fire chief.
So, yeah, I mean, if there's anyone that's gonna be paying attention, it's Chief Miller.
Yeah.
But that's where we'd have to be really working with AVMI to pull together screens, microphones, speakers for like the gymnasium.
Well,
Because we need overflow space.
we had 2,500 for the mall. We had the auditorium, we had the gymnasium. Unfortunately, King Philip had a field house, and we filled them all.
So that's Article 2.
Yeah.
We might not get to Article 3 until midnight. There's 32 articles. I'll fall asleep, right?
I think it might be loud enough that you may not fall asleep. Now,
I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah. I'll give you a nudge when you start.
You guys can take over.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's.
No, it's It's tough all over the place. If I was still in Upton, they're going for a $3 million override and they're only 8,000 people compared to our 18. It's happening all over the place and that's.
So for Article 2, and I can actually, and it might be reasonable where people would say, Finance Committee, you really shouldn't be involved in Article 2. I could see people making that argument, that we shouldn't be involved in it, because it's not like we're reviewing somebody else's work to see that it complies with everything and there's nothing in there that shouldn't be in there. This is, the numbers they're backed up by people's payroll. It's really people's payroll, so it's not like
And
a finance committee.
it comes
Right.
from,
I've heard both. I've heard more so people asking me and then getting irritated with me when I say I haven't heard. That people have asked me if the finance committee had a recommendation on it. And I say, not that I'm aware of. And they say, what do you mean? And then, but I get your point.
Well, quite frankly, it's up to the voters to decide.
Exactly.
We
That
should
was
lean
the point.
one way or the other.
Select board moving it to the ballot.
I mean, if we lean forward for it, people would say, oh, they're back in the school committee. If we voted against it, we say, oh, they're trying to screw the kids. So it's an no-win position.
So for my own education, for past overrides, what has the finance committee done? Have they ever recommended
I don't think we've ever
an
had.
override?
I mean, notice-
We've had an
They were taking a vote.
override, and I actually don't
I
remember
don't think we
it
did.
being was there an override for a fire department action?
Paramedics, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I remember.
And then what was
And then there was
5
another
years
one
ago
for
for the school?
department,
That was
correct.
about 5 years ago for
Yeah.
the school.
There was, I'm gonna have to go and look at my notes.
I'm just wondering for my own education of what the procedure was of the committee.
Yeah, I had the same question.
Yeah.
I think we've recommended on debt exclusions, but I'm not sure about overrides. Got to can't exclude a debt exclusion. You're
Yeah.
mandated to put this thing in place and now you gotta pay for it.
Oh, I think I remember debt exclusion. I think I remember debt. But it couldn't have been a $3 million number.
No, it was what, $15.5 million for the water system down in South Bellingham? Filtration system. We had to run pipeline across the
But that's
Set
financed
bill.
with debt, though.
I understand that, but we made a recommendation to do it because it had to be done for water quality. Just like we're getting,
Yeah,
the
it's
hook
a-
for 34 million, I think we already approved the 34 million debt exclusion.
Oh, yeah, but that's different, because you're gonna pay that back over what, 40 years? It's not like a 1 year, $3 million salary for X number of.
Yeah, I mean, we've taken a stand on debt exclusions because of the nature of the need.
What finance, would you recommend overspending a budget? No. So
No,
how do you solve the problem and why would you make a recommendation on that? The way I look at it.
I don't mind taking a vote to say, we're taking no action on this. It's up to the individual voter at town meeting to decide.
Right.
We can make that recommendation the night of, no, we have a meeting before the meeting.
Might all
Because
expire.
we might not even have to do that if it doesn't pass on the ballot. Doesn't pass on the ballot. Article 2 is a dead issue. The problem is, even if the town does decide to do a $3 million override, face the same problem again next year. Because our commercial growth has been petering out now. We built everywhere there is to build.
But everybody knew that was coming. I used to
Yeah, but
comment
nobody-
on that 3 and 4 years ago, 2
Yeah.
and 3 years ago. Every year I'd say, those new huge
rely on
buildings are not
growth.
gonna be
Yeah,
built.
everybody kicks the can down the road though.
Mhm.
So we got more to do tonight? Or are we done?
Do we have any other?
we're done until really the next meeting on the 27th, and that'll be to finalize it. So the morning of the 28th, we're sending it on out, so.
So. Of the last article, Article 32, if any additional unpaid show up, do those right away.
Yeah.
If you find any, yeah, don't let those. I mean, there used to be sometimes an issue with the invoice that we got from Socket for
The sewer.
yeah, did we get so that could be an item, right, that we have to deal with? The timing of the invoice that we get from,
Yeah, I think it came up in the past. It might have even been November town
Yeah.
meeting. They're so late to invoice us. We do our best to project it, but at this time, we don't have anything out there.
okay.
Yeah, we don't have, and that is the enterprise fund as well.
So, yeah, see, if that comes up at the last minute, let us know, so we
Absolutely.
can deal with it.
Absolutely.
Even if it's the last, literally the last minute, just before the meeting. Instead of letting it go, all right.
All I can say, either way, it's gonna be an angry town meeting.
Any other items? When's the next meeting?
27.
27.
2 weeks?
Yeah,
Yeah, because next week's,
Patriots Day,
Oh, yeah, all right,
marathon.
all right. There's no other items, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second,
second.
all those in favor,
Aye.
opposed?
We have to do an individual vote.
Meeting is adjourned. 7:56.
Hey, way to go, guy. You stayed awake
Thanks,
through it. It's
Evan.
harder out there than it is in here.
It is. I appreciate you guys. Sorry for the individual
And wear
voting.
like multiple helmets.
Gonna be in.
About time we practiced
I'm
that.
identify people like crazy.
Good training.
Sorry. Who's the next NECC meeting?
Which,
Is that still valid anywhere?
Obviously, yeah.
Okay.
being processed downstairs and.
I missed the last few, that's why.
Yeah, yep, understood, okay, so.
So those select board opinions.
What's the 21st maybe?
You should do for Article 2. Oh, shoot, what for you care what we do?
I don't think. Show us off.
Have they felt this?
Right, so it was funded at 283, and we just held that through. Yeah.
So it's about 480.
Oh, it's better than 500.
Yeah, well, I put that, we put that in there, because we do approaching 5, so.
Oh, there we go.
When he said 7 something, I was like,
What do you got for salt?
Yeah.
What do you got for salt? What?
We do have a surplus, we're not full,
Half, 3/4, quarter?
a little more than half. Yeah, we've got a stockpile in there, so.
Alright, so it's, I forget, is that a 1,500 ton shed or a 1,000 ton? shed? 1,000.
Yeah. What do you think of Philip?
Huh?
What do you think of Philip?
Well, if we had money, it's always gonna sell the full shed.
Yeah, I looked at that, at the end of the season, so, yeah.
John, let me know when you wanna start.
Good place for it yet?
Yep.
Just about, just about.
But we wanted to make sure before we got the number, Jesse, that you had anything for, comp time or anything that you may hit that line. We want to make sure that it's finalized before it's all a go.
Everything's online, so we have 5.
Yeah.
We have 6.
Good 5.
I haven't. Stand
How you
by,
doing, Evan?
stand by for live.
I'm doing good, guys. How are you?
Good, how you doing? You good? That's good.
He just turned you on, so your voice.
Thank you.
I'm glad you get over my head.
All right, it's 5:30.